Hey guys, it's been a while since Spies. The Nilfgaard archetype has been popular and even has been strong. It's been pretty weak for a while now, but with the new patch that just came in, changing a lot of stuff about the War Dancer, swapping Mulligan, things like that, as well as Create and some other stuff, it's actually made Spies potentially a contender for being, a decent or maybe even top tier deck once again. It's maybe too early to say, and bear in mind, this is going to be like day one, just immediate thoughts on decks and stuff like that in this video. But yeah, I thought I'd do a deck guide on Spies because I played some of it today, and the win rate was actually pretty good, and there was a lot of, surprising moments where Spies were putting out the points that I didn't think they were able to put out. So, yeah, this is the deck, and we can go over it. I mean, if you're not familiar with Spies, the whole idea is you're playing the Emissary card, which is able to thin through your deck, find other spying, other emissaries, and also find your units which synergize with those spies on the enemy side of the board. So you have Imperial Enforcers and Imperial Brigades, and they're kind of doing the same thing. Imperial Enforcers do damage, Imperial Brigades get buffed for every spy the opponent has on their side of the board. You then have Infiltrators to give units the spying tag, and Vico Medics primarily to be reviving emissaries, so you can reuse that effect and get more spies onto the opponent's board. You also have Nausicaa Brigade, which is going to just be chopping down a spy on the enemy side of the board, and it's really useful in this deck because it provides kind of the power finisher with Joachim de Wet and Asaya when you shuffle it back in. So yeah, that's the case because it strengthens itself when it kills something, so pretty nice little combo there. In terms of goals, well, firstly, leader, we have Emir, and he's primarily going to be used on either Sialak, this is the #1 target, and then potentially Vico Medic if you cannot find Sialak. And basically, you're just replaying those cards which can thin through your deck a huge amount. Basically, allowing Emir to be a 7-point play an emissary effectively leader card, which is really strong when you've got so much synergy going on with the bronzes here. Um, Next, we have Vilgefortz. He is just a big, chunky point swing, in a lot of Nilfgaard decks because he is so strong. Works really well with Vicar Medic on the board, 1 strength. You can, burn that unit up, get another card from your deck. A lot of thinning potential there. Can even use it offensively. Had a couple of games today where I was just burning down the opponent's big units at the end of the game and winning as a result. So really nice card. Menno is going to be really useful because you can either kill Cantarella, which is obviously the big spy, or you can tag an enemy large unit with Infiltrator, cause it to be a spy, and then Menno's going to be able to just completely annihilate it. So very powerful swing card, and you can potentially reuse it with the Renew that we have. Allowing for 2 of those big swings. That's really nice. And Renew is there usually for the Rain Farn, and that's because Rain Farn is just super strong. You can either pull Cantarella, you can even pull Emissary, or you're going to be pulling Joachim. And typically, you're going to want to play Cantarella in an early round with the Rain Farn, and then Renew it later in the game for that Joachim finisher. With the goals, there could be some flexibility here. Dandelion Poet for Renew, for example, or Igni for Vilgefortz and Poet, things like this. But I've been having a lot of fun with Renew. It can brick sometimes, especially when you're running Vilgefortz and you're dry passing a lot. But I think it's pretty cool, pretty fun, and allows you to thin a lot and get some really nice combos at the end game. So maybe we'll see some of that. Next we have Spy, we have Asaya. She's going to be shuffling back typically Roach and the Strength and Nausicaa Brigade. Roach, of course, going to give us 4 extra points in the end of the game with the Asaya, as long as we have a gold card in hand to play. It's a bit difficult with the Renew to get that off sometimes, so Asaya can be flexible. Maybe you want to take the Sialak and the Nausicaa Brigade in some situations for extra points. Sialak is there, of course, as a kind of an emissary with a body, and sometimes you can use them for removal with the Assassin option, things like that. And then finally we have the Joachim and Iris. Joachim is just your finisher card. You don't really ever want to play this before round 3 if you can avoid it. And Iris is just a big, fat, chunky point swing if you can get it off, which will be easy if you have 2 enforcers on the board. If not, they may have a chance to answer it, so just be wary of that. But yeah, Iris is very strong as well. And once again, silvers are probably flexible to an extent. Maybe Roach can be cut. Things like it really depends what you want to go with. You could even try like Letho with Nilfgaardian Gate or something like that. Um, as a different kind of combo. But yeah, I think this version of the deck works really well. Uh, really well. I mean, we can only see with time, right, whether the meta will develop in a way that allows this kind of a deck to be strong. But for now, Spies is pretty cool. And I thought, why not highlight the return of Spies with some deck guide and gameplay action? So that's what we're going to go to right now, a little bit of gameplay. So stay tuned. Mwah. And here we are, guys. It's going to be a game against a Rakka's Queen, it seems. This is actually one of the best matchups for the Spy deck, in fact, just because your Enforcers are so damn strong against Neckers. You can remove so many of them very easily. It's kind of like Hensult, but even better against the Consume, so we'll see how that goes. But I want to talk through the mulligans and things like that, other matchups, and all that good stuff, so we have an idea of how the Spies are working in general. So mulligans-wise, we want to typically have Enforcers in hand because you can play them from hand and then wait with your emissaries until after they're on the board to get the full value from them. Brigades not so much, they can be shuffled back into the deck. Same with Infiltrator and even Nausicaa Brigade. The other cards you're typically going to want to keep. You know, there are exceptions to that. Sometimes you maybe don't want Joachim and Cantarella and a few emissaries in hand, for example, so that your, you know, Rain Farm isn't too bricked. But in this matchup, we're going to be basically playing Enforcer, killing some Neckers, hopefully removing all of those, and then being able to either, you know, 2-0 him maybe, or just finish the game off with a finisher that he won't have. So, yeah, we'll start off with going with that Enforcer, hitting the Necker. Yeah, I just want to talk other things through, like matchups. What are we thinking? So, Spies is really good against Consume and Great Swords. Those are the two kind of typical really good matchups that you have. You know, Great Swords can maybe cause some problems here and there if they play it very well and you draw really badly or something like that, but usually that's going to be a really nice matchup for you. Consume is very, very good. What is bad? I mean, you've got some control decks that are a bit difficult, like Alchemy can be a bit troublesome. At the same time, I've won, I think, 3 out of 3 games today against Alchemy, so maybe that deck is a bit weaker than it used to be, and it may be the case that, you know, this deck can beat it. But here we're going to go with Rainfarn into Emissary. You can actually do that. Since we don't have any emissaries in hand, really important to get those out and get our Vicos enabled. And we're going to have to take Infiltrator here, which is not the best thing in the world, but, you know, not the end of things either. And we can kill the Necker and also hit Emissary, so that our Emir and our Vico Varos are ready to go. Should be good. But yeah, as I was saying, what are the bad matchups? Basically any deck that has a lot of controlling tools or can like align big scorches on your units, things like that. But apart from that, this deck's pretty strong. On red coin, you're just going to do your thing, set up your engines, hopefully, you know, push a win on even if possible. Not always the case, not always going to happen, but, you know, a lot of the time is really nice. Another thing you can do is you can just take take the opponent's Necker Warriors against Consume, and I think that's what we're going to do here. Just shuffle more Vicos into the deck, and then, yeah, of course, return Vico to hand. This might make his life more awkward, maybe not, maybe we're just kind of wasting time with that, but who knows, we can maybe get some huge value. Oh, he underestimated me, there we go, so we're making things work. He does get Summoning Circle though, which is, yeah, pretty good for him. Will say that much. But yeah, now we can go ahead and res Emissary, put it in front of Ran because we don't want to have to deal with that nonsense. And then probably just a bit of a cheeky Infiltrator on that Vran. And we're going to shoot Necker a couple of times. We want to be able to kill as many of these as possible. We've only killed 1 so far. A little bit disappointing. Typically, you're wanting to get 2 Enforcers out. We didn't quite get that this game, unfortunately, but, you know, things happen. On the bright side, we're going to have Menno and just kind of blow up the big Vran or whatever, which should be good. But yeah, like on blue coin with Spies, you're going to want to be passing like every time, I think, unless maybe like your hand is very, very bad, but in that situation you're in trouble anyway, right? So I think dry passing is pretty much always correct. That's what you're going to want to go for. And yeah, like you can always pretty much you know, win that long round with the insane amount of power the engines give you. So it's a really nice thing. That is kind of annoying. The Yep, the Mandrake, of course, denying our Enforcer, so we're going to need to, you know, improvise a little bit here, maybe with the Vico Medic now, pick up that Emissary, put it again once again in front of the Vran. We can do a bit of an Emissary chain here, which is nice. Unfortunately, that's where it ends. And we haven't found those Enforcers to kill Neckers, which is really not good news. But shouldn't be too much of an issue. The thing is, we have a lot of points with our engines, and we can most likely find a win, like in this game, like just in terms of pure points and card advantage, that sort of thing. So we'll see how it goes. He does, potentially have another Neca Warrior available because of the Vico play we made, which in hindsight might not have been the best thing ever. Here though, I think we go with Cantarella and we just say, you know what, we're going to take an Enforcer. There's nothing anyone's going to do about that. And I'm going to, it's a bit late, but whatever. I'm going to shoot the Necas and stuff and it'll be great. Um, hopefully that'll happen. Who knows? Anything's possible. And he is going to go for more Neca Warriors at this point. So this stage of the game, I'm really thinking about that Menno. It looks very nice, very appealing. Yeah, I don't really see a reason not to go for it here. We kind of just want to put the pressure on him to find a way to win the round, basically. And if he's going like 3 cards down, we can probably take a pass, because we're going to have some really nice plays later. Things like Vilgefortz, Renew Menno, and Iris are going to be very powerful. Of course, Joachim as well is not terrible. Preferably we'd win a card up. That's kind of the ideal situation, I think. But if not, then whatever. Can't win them all, right? Can't win all the situations. But yeah, I mean, you just want to keep card advantage if you can. Set up a round 3 where you have like Asaya, Joachim, and Renew for Rainfarm. That's kind of the ideal. And we get the pass, which is good. You can then shuffle Roach and the Nausicaa back, as I think I said in the deck building screen. That's usually what you're going to be aiming for. Doesn't always happen, and against Consume here, maybe not so likely to be what we're going for. Here I'm going to actually mulligan Joachim. I think it's a card I don't particularly want right now, although this hand is looking very suspicious, so whatever, we'll just play it out. Maybe even play all these cards, we'll see. What happens. We have not thinned enough, which is kind of crazy for this deck. It usually does find all the emissaries and Sealak and things like this, so it's a bit disappointing to see, but it is what it is. You're not gonna have the perfect stuff happen every game, right? So got to work with what we've got here, and most likely, we're probably gonna be all right in the round 3. We'll see what happens. Kind of don't want to commit Iris yet because it's such a powerful card in this matchup, but we really don't have many plays. Unfortunately, just the way the game has gone. We might even have to go Vilgefortz here, which is kind of not what I want to do with my life, especially if we hit. I mean, if we hit Rainfarm, I guess it's not if we hit Renew, it's not terrible, but not exactly ideal. I think we have to go for it here though, because we need to find some sort of thinning, get through our deck. Or, in fact, find an Enforcer, which is perfectly fine as well, I guess. We can now activate that Iris immediately if we want to do such a thing. But this is very awkward. It doesn't happen too often that you don't find all your thinning options, but this is one of those games. And, I mean, it doesn't help when you are using Vico on Neca Warrior, right? That can be a bit of an issue. But either way here, we're going to just push him a bit, hopefully. He won't get too much carryover, and we can get to that round 3 safely. Should be nice. Maybe even can bait him into taking a hero pass. That would be ideal to see. But yeah, now this has gone very strangely for a Consume game because we just haven't got those Enforcers rolling the way we normally would. Unfortunately, didn't draw too well. I think it mostly comes down to having too many emissaries in the deck. But yeah, not a huge issue, I guess, at the end of the day. Do what we got to do. We'll just play our cards. We can catch up with the Iris, of course, still, so I'm not too worried about that. I don't know, if we're finding either Renew... Oh, there we go. He just takes the hero pass, so we're looking pretty good. Which is, of course, going to take the win. Yeah, this is a weird game. I don't really know what to say. I'd be tempted to even play another, but as it is, I mean, I think the basics of the deck are kind of tricky to get a hang of. You want to basically get your Enforcers down at the beginning and then do all your engines and stuff. And as always, I mean, my guides are never too in-depth. It's more just, here's the deck's good, go play the deck, whatever. This is one game of it, but yeah, hopefully that's sufficient. And enjoy it while it lasts, because, Spies might not be that strong for too long. Who knows? We can't predict what will happen. The meta is very much up in the air. But either way, thanks for watching this, I guess, rather short video. And yeah, have a good one, guys. I'll see you next time.